Alright, we have to talk about this report that has been going around and coming out in different bits of pieces throughout, the scoopers on Twitter and YouTube and the internet. And now that I think we have the big picture, all of the pieces of the puzzle put together, I want to discuss the Flash movie that will be coming out later this year, and I have been referring to it as the most important DC film to come out in a very long time. And that's because the weight of the DC universe hinges on how well the Flash movie reveals the multiverse and allows other characters to connect with different characters across the span of DC. The DCEU is not arguably a failed attempt of creating an amazing cinematic universe. And over the years, we've gotten great individual DC movies, but we have not been able to get an awesome big picture or cinematic universe. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk about all major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much more. I'm your host Chris, and consider subscribing to the channel, turning on that notification bell, and liking the video if you haven't already. This channel talks about all things going on in the movie and TV sphere, and I love your guys' opinion, so comment down below and let me know what you think about the DC universe and the upcoming Flash film's plans to change everything. Now in this video, I'm going to try to summarize all of the reports that have been going out about this topic, and that is the getting rid of the SNYDER-VERSE, that is moving on to a new, hopefully bigger, better DC, where we can start getting not only great DC individual films, but a big DC universe that everybody can start to enjoy, that makes sense, that has consistent actors, consistent themes, and a consistent story. So for starters, we have a tweet coming from My Time to Shine Hello. Now he's usually, and he addresses this in his tweet, a Marvel scooper, and he's a very accurate one who talks about a lot of future upcoming things, Spider-Man No Way Home, Disney Plus theories, the Avengers movies. He's talked about a lot of this stuff with high accuracy, and he says this in his tweet. I don't usually tweet about DC stuff, but I have a friend who has seen The Flash, and the movie will erase every movie Snyder has done. Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and Justice League never happened now. Erased from the community. Affleck and Cavill are both gone. Now I know that is a hard concept to maybe take in, especially since there are probably more DC fans who enjoyed the Snyder cut, the Snyder movies, the things that he was in charge of, the direction he was headed, than what we ended up originally getting, the Joss Whedon Justice League and the storyline that continued on from there. Earlier in 2021, we got the 4-hour-long version of the Snyder Cut Justice League edition, and it was extremely well received. And it was actually almost disappointing and sad because we saw the direction he was going with this film come the end. We saw what the potential was for the DC universe, but we also realized that it isn't going to happen and we're never going to get it. Then following the release of the Snyder Cut, of course the internet was flooded with #RestoreTheSnyderverse. Let's get what the original plans were for DC. Let's hear what Snyder's plan was. Let's go the direction that the Justice League Snyder Cut was taking us, with Jared Leto's Joker, and other characters who got better storylines like The Flash, Cyborg, and even Batman and Wonder Woman, whose involvement in the Justice League Snyder Cut told a better story leading into their solo films, which, like I've mentioned, were very much loved and enjoyed. Wonder Woman's solo film, Aquaman, Superman, all of these movies were beloved. We never got a Cyborg, and we're about to get The Flash. However, the direction we're heading is going to be different than if we had the Snyder-Verse. Now, what this report from My Time to Shine is telling us is that the Snyder-Verse is done. And this doesn't come as much of a surprise to me. I know most of you guys will be in denial of this and you won't want to hear it, especially the more hardcore DC fans who appreciated what Snyder was doing. However, I'm very unsurprised by this fact, that they're going to use the power of the multiverse, the DC expanded universe, to move away from the DCEU. I am, however, surprised that they used the words in this report, deleted, gone, never existed. Something is going to happen in this film to completely remove what happened with Snyder's films from the universe. Affleck, Cavill, gone? That seems a little over the top, and kind of hard to believe, especially because these movies have been projects for years now and they were becoming something. And yes, the Flash movie's opening the multiverse and putting us in a different direction. However, I think it's hard to really comprehend what it means for them to be just gone, especially since Ben Affleck himself is in the Flash movie. With that being said, Warner Brothers do make some pretty insane and tough decisions, and I say tough meaning tough decisions that the fans don't always agree with. After the Snyder Cut film release, the Snyder Cut Justice League film, they parted ways with Zack Snyder, releasing a statement saying thank you for all you've done and we look forward to maybe working with you in the future, but goodbye, you're done, get out. And those weren't the exact words of the memo, but that's what they were trying to do, was separate themselves from Snyder, from fans who follow Snyder religiously, don't want to hear anything about DC unless Snyder's in charge of it. So that was coming and always coming after Snyder. Even though thousands and thousands and thousands of people put hashtag restore the SNYDER-VERSE, we were never hashtag restoring the SNYDER-VERSE. That's not Warner Brothers' plan. So it makes sense for me what My Time to Shine is saying here, as he explains that this is going to undo everything we had and saw, essentially starting over the DC universe, getting rid of the DCEU and putting us in a new direction, which was always the plan for the Flash movie. Jim Lee talked about this 2 years ago at the first DC Fandom, where he mentioned the multiverse opens up a never-ending ability of possibilities, opportunities, ways that we could see the DC universe like we never have before. That's what the Flash film is about. Now, Michael Keaton coming in and replacing Ben Affleck seems a little far-fetched as well, because we're going to need a real Batman. Now, whether that's going to be Robert Pattinson's Batman somehow, because the multiverse is open, anybody can hang out with anybody, we are yet to know or see. But I am curious, with Ben Affleck gone, Christian Bale not planning to return, Michael Keaton a little old to be the Batman, what their plans are moving forward if they want a multiversal Justice League. And you have to assume that that's the plan. The plan is to get to the Justice League. Yeah, we had the DCEU Justice League, which is going to be undone as we open up the multiverse. It wasn't a failed project, but it also wasn't a successful project. So the plan is to get a proper cinematic universe existing Justice League. So we're going to need a Batman, a Wonder Woman, we're going to need the Flash, Cyborg, all the characters who are in the Justice League. Some of them may remain from the DCEU, like Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. Some of them are going to be gone, like Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill. So the question for us is, how confusing, how choppy is this new DC universe going to be as we lead into the new era of DC cinematic universe perfection? Now, that is what we're awaiting and what we're hoping for, but is it too late for DC? Is it too late for them to create a perfect cinematic universe, much like what Marvel has done? There is just no arguing that Marvel has absolutely created the perfect cinematic universe, where each movie builds off the last. There aren't questions of which actor's playing which character. There aren't moments when we don't know which part of the universe exists and which part is outside of the universe. It's all together. And although some of the Sony-verse stuff does tend to get a little confusing at times, it all ends up ultimately getting explained. So where do you guys lie? Are you giving DC another chance to create the DC super universe with the Flash film and possibly deleting everything that we've gotten from Snyder and his characters and his Justice League? Or are you just kind of fed up with it and you're fine with the good DC solo films, but there's never really going to be an awesome culmination of these characters on the big screen? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching the video to the very end. If you found it helpful, useful, or entertaining, consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and I'll see y'all in the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.